Friends, it's when you're going through the twilight, when darkness is approaching and encroaching, it's then that you have to light the sanctuary lamps. Light the sanctuary lamp when the darkness is coming, when the twilight is upon you, when the shadow is encroaching, when hell is approaching. That's when you say, this outer darkness is upon me, but I will light the sanctuary lamp. How do I stop worrying? We live in such an anxious era, such a depressed epoch, that I think a lot of people wonder, how do I stop worrying? And indeed, I do want this Bible study to be a touchstone that you can return to when you feel anxious or worried, a lodestone that is magnetic and draws you in when you're feeling fearful, that it's a memorial stone at the Jordan River that reminds you don't have to stay in the desert, you can go into the fruitful land of milk and honey, that it's also a Rosetta Stone, that it can translate for you the great mysterion, the mysteries of life, when life becomes perplexing and puzzling and it leaves you befuddled and bewildered. It would behoove you to continue to return to this study when you are worried and anxious. How do I stop worrying as we continue our journey through the book of Ephesians? Now, I was reading this a couple days ago and it really stuck out to me in a book called Streams in the Desert, which I've loved for a very long time since I was a teenager. And in Exodus chapter 30, verse 8, we're told that Aaron lit the sanctuary lamps at twilight. Notice, I'm not saying he lit them at sunrise. I'm not saying he lit them at high noonday. I'm not saying he lit them at noontide. He lit them at the twilight. Friends, it's when you're going through the twilight, when darkness is approaching and encroaching, it's then that you have to light the sanctuary lamps. Light the sanctuary lamp when the darkness is coming, when the twilight is upon you, when the shadow is encroaching, when hell is approaching. That's when you say, this outer darkness is upon me, but I will light the sanctuary lamp. Exodus 30, verse 8. When did Moses' brother, the high priest Aaron, do this? At twilight, he lit the sanctuary lamp. It's time that we light the lamp of hope. It's time that we ignite the lamp of faith. It's time that we kindle the light of joy. When? At twilight. If you're going through the darkness, now is the time to light hope. Now is the time to light joy. Now is the time to light enthusiasm for God. Even if you can't feel hope, you have to choose hope. Light the sanctuary lamp at twilight. When the darkness is approaching, that's when you got to turn on the light. When the darkness is approaching, that's when, at twilight, you light the sanctuary lamp, Exodus 38, just as Aaron did. So important. Let's go back even a little further to Genesis. In the book of Genesis, when did Jacob, the heel snatcher, as his name was turned to Israel, prince with God or governed by God, when did he, meet the angel of the Lord at Jabbok? It was once the sun set. It says, when the sun set at Jabbok, Jacob met the angel of the Lord. Is it not true that when the sun sets, when the twilight's upon us, that we have to light the sanctuary lamp, that we have a revelation of the angel of the Lord? Is it not in those times of darkness that often we have our greatest heavenly revelations? It was, once the sun set, that Jacob at Jabbok met the angel of the Lord. Friends, all worry is dread of the future. We're very seldom worried about what's happening right now. We're more anxious about what's going to come. And when you fetch tomorrow with your thoughts, you redouble your vexation and make tomorrow twice as bad as today. And you'll find, like Mark Twain, I've had a great many troubles in my life, most of which have never happened. That's why he said it's horrible for an 18-year-old to win a horse race, because if you have all these victories in your youth, you start to get cocky. And then when you get too cocky, what happens is you live this entitled life and you become like, I won't say the name I was thinking of, but you become like some spoiled kids who get a lot of money very young, and then they grow up and they kind of go off the rails a little bit. Friends, there are times in your life where you seem to be losing the horse race. The twilight is upon you. The sun is setting. You choose to light the sanctuary lamp. You meet the angel of the Lord at Jabbok. And it's in those moments that you can start to worry. Well, what happens if A, B, or C transpires? And God's saying, you're worried about something that will probably never happen. And even if it does, you're going to be equipped, enabled, ennobled, and prepared to handle those various and sundry trials and tribulations when they come your way. Friends, I have had a great many troubles, most of which has never happened, and fetching tomorrow with your thoughts only redoubles your vexation today with imaginary problems that you don't have to be plagued with. We're seldom worried about our past. We're often anxious about our future. 5 times Matthew 6, as you know, Jesus said, do not worry about tomorrow, because the future of your reality is seldom as bad as the future of your fears. Can I say that again? The future of your reality is seldom as bad as the future of your fears. Dr. Carolyn Leaf, who she's like from New Zealand or Australia or somewhere like that. I get them confused. But basically, she said, fear releases more than 30 different hormones and neurotransmitters and activates biochemical processes in your brain, which actually affects your health. So fear releases more than 30 different hormones and neurotransmitters and begins to activate these biochemical processes in your life that actually is deleterious and injurious to dilapidate your health. So don't worry, it's bad for your health. The stomach ulcer, the coronary thrombosis, two of the typical diseases of modern life, according to a few decades ago, those are the very things that are often caused by stress and worry. The statistics say somewhere around 95%, this is lowballing it, I've actually seen up to 97, pushing 98% of the illnesses that plague us today are a direct result of our thought life. You know, you store trauma, not just in your brain, but in your body. Do you ever feel like when you've had a stressful day, your back's like hurting, you're all tense, you need your back massager? Well, that's because worry even affects your body. Your pneuma affects your soma. A broken spirit rots the bones, the Bible says, but a merry heart works like medicine, my friends. So, walking with God does not mean our lives will be pain and suffering free. It means we will be pain and suffering proof. Ben Courson here. Thank you so much for watching my new YouTube channel. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, share this video with all your friends, and hit that bell so you're notified every time a new video comes out. May the hope be with you.